Boom, 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 boom. Let's wait a couple minutes here to let the live stream get going.
You're breaking up a lot. Is that me or?
No, I hear it too.
Yeah, you're breaking up. It's like a.
Is it?
It's all your sounds all distorted.
It sounds like banjo music, intertwined with your words.
Yeah, it's like Deliverance.
Oh shit. Well, hopefully, because I hear you guys perfectly. So Lisa says, "What's up, bitches?" Like we're
it comes and goes.
That. Well, I think as we move along, it should get better, and hopefully everything will smooth out. All right, you guys ready to roll?
Ready.
Yep.
Here we go. Welcome to the latest edition of Conrad and Kale Show. I am Andrew Tigers. I'm one of the best in the country. One of them is the Ups. Of course, supports a dog shit program. He's looking for a new coach. He is Cale Hall. Cale, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Great to be a Gamecock. Glad to get a nice 4-star get today out of the state of Virginia. Picked the Gamecocks over 2 other elite programs and North Carolina, a team that's evidently not built for success in the long term. Not going to be pulling in the kids with future NFL talent, and the team that is the better football program and always will be comes out on top on that one. Woo! Setting it up for the new coach. I love it.
Really? I got nothing for you on that, man. Well, anyway, so it's good to have Cale with us. We also have the third portion of our show. That is the comrade. Good evening, sir.
It is good to be here. It is great to be a Gamecock. Just like young George Wilson decided today, I think it was today he did it. The days run together. But it's great to be a Gamecock. Great to have George Wilson on board. Defensive end university. If you're a big DE and you want to make a name for yourself, you come here. Bottom line, you get drafted #1 overall. You get money thrown at you in the NFL. I mean, that's how it is. That's how it is. So, good choice for the young man. Great to have him aboard. And I think he's the kind of kid who will turn things around for the Boom Man and get Boom a lifetime contract here at Carolina one day. And one day, Cale Hall and I are going to go to a football game together, driving together, and we're going to have a tailgate spot on Boom Parkway, right there by the stadium. We call it Boom Parkway. Okay? And there should be called Bobo Parkway, Boom and Bobo. You know, no more Shop Road, no more, just be Boom. Okay, George Washington Boulevard, then Boom Parkway, Bobo Parkway, right, the Boom and Bobo. That's how it's going to be.
You Parkway.
That's how I envision it.
I got nothing.
Hey, listen.
Boom and Bobo Parkway.
He did say during the commitment video over on the CBS Sports app that he before he grabbed the hat, he said he wanted to thank the Lord for being able to put him in this predicament. And I was like, huh? I was like, that's supposed to be a bad thing, isn't it? I'm like, it's all right, dude. You ain't got to be smart. You just got to be able to play some damn football, okay? Nobody gives a shit.
Can you rush the passer? Okay. That's good.
It. Hit heard around the world.
We need a little pass rush. The defense looks much better with a pass rush. Linebackers look better. Corners look better when you have a pass rush. It's amazing.
Yeah, Muschamp's been bitching for.
What's that?
Yeah. Go ahead, Cale.
So over on Facebook when people like Nick Merritt used to get me all triggered asking where are you gonna get the pass rush from? And I was like, the pass rush. Well, now you know.
There it is.
Here
it
it
is.
comes.
Here they coming.
Ask and you shall receive.
Here they coming. Don't need the blitz anymore. No more blitzes. Don't need the blitz.
No more blitzing, right?
Don't need a blitz
there's
now.
that.
Man, oh man.
Let's thank our sponsors. We'll start with DNC Trucking and Transport, the No Spin Zone segment with the Comrade. Comrade, read away, sir.
It sucks to be a Gamecock. I wish I had a man with the character that Dabo Sweeney has to run my football program. Tonight, we preview the Florida Gators. They are a team that has had to battle to get the Muschamp stank off of them. The coach that I adore has already screwed a national power. Now he is screwing a national shithole. I am the reason Cal Hall pisses in his sink. It's utterly shameful to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
The message courtesy of Dennis DNC Trucking and Transport. The No Spin the lot grill out in West Columbia. Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart. Go by and check them out. Of course, they've got best beer, swings, the best people, all at Callaway's, retro video games, all that stuff for you at Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. Also, I have the names scrolling across the bottom here. I want to thank our patrons, of course, Lawton Swan, Thomas Dana Young, Stacey Hant, Keith Harrelson, Jamie Phillips, Tabitha Sims, Robert Knight, and Positive Mike, Lisa Sester Harkins, Jeff Pritchett, Christian Young, Eddie Hicks, Sally Donegan, and Melanie Barr. We appreciate them for joining the show. So tonight we are previewing the lovely Florida Gators. Of course, the Florida Gators play in the SEC East. Last season, the Gators went 11-2 overall. The Gamecock fans are outstanding with them because they will tooth and nail tell you, oh, we should have beat them. Oh, Muschamp cried for 2 weeks about fucking officials in that game, but you lost at home. Okay, then the Gamecock fans are great because they'll bitch about the year before when they went down there and blew a huge lead, and Florida only played basically a quarter and beat the fuck out of them and sent them on their way with another loss. This is a football program that is eons ahead of pretty much everybody in the SEC East, with the exception of the Georgia Bulldogs. 6-2 in the conference last year. Dan Mullen in his third year with the program, 21-5 overall. Very, very solid in 3 years with
Trivia question.
Gators. Go ahead.
Who has more SEC divisional titles as a head coach? Will Muschamp or Dan Mullen? What's the answer?
It's Myers players, so it doesn't matter.
What's that? Huh? Oh, it doesn't count. Oh, I believe. The answer is Muschamp. Dan Mullen has never won a division in the SEC, whether at Mississippi State or here in Florida. Just something to think about there when we're comparing coaches.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's
move on from that one. Yeah.
Would you rather have Dan Mullen or Will Muschamp? Which one would you rather have?
Will Muschamp. If you're asking me.
Oh, God.
I didn't ask you. Yeah, Kale doesn't even play.
I like offense. I like a good offensive game plan. So I'd have to go with Dan Mullen, I guess. Although that's not like on my laundry list of coaches to go get or anything.
You know who Cal Hall reminds me of?
Nothing special.
This is how talented Cal Hall is, okay? So, like, Cal Hall has to kind of, because as we know, Cal Hall is not a big Muschamp fan. Okay, I am. But Cal Hall's trying to, to parse his words. And you ever watch, who's that girl, really good-looking girl, real smart, who was President Trump's White House press person? Like she has to kind of answer to all his tweets and kind of make sense of them. That's kind of how Cal Hall is with me, I think. He has to kind of say, listen, just want to say, I apologize to Cal for putting him in that position. But let me tell you something. I will go down with Muschamp. I am not getting off. I don't care if things look bleak. I will go down in the ship. Okay? The Titanic, I'll be the dude playing the violin all the way down. I'm not getting off. Okay? I'm going to keep on playing the violin. If we're 3-8 this year, I'm going to keep on. It's going to be all right. Okay? So.
Comrade. Of course you. Well, there's that. Kale, we're going to start with just like do with every team preview. You have something bad or ugly for the Florida Gators?
The good for the Florida Gators, they return the SEC leader in passing yards from 2019 in Kyle Trask, a gentleman who didn't even start the first he didn't start the first 3 games of the season. So there you go. That's something good.
Yeah. I mean, that is important. Kyle Trask is a good player. Comrade, do you have something good, bad, or ugly for the Florida
along
Gators?
those lines, I would say that they are I wouldn't say clear, but I would say they're the favorites from the SEC East just because of Georgia's quarterback issue. I know Bulldog fans here think that Newman is like the Cam Newton 2.0. Okay, he's not. I hate to tell you that. But I just think that right now it's a Florida-Georgia battle. Tennessee fans don't even act like you're involved in this shit, okay? But it's a Florida-Georgia battle for the SEC East this year, and I just think the Gators have more than the Bulldogs. I will say this, though. If Florida's not win the East this year, you got to start looking at Dan Mullen and wondering, because as I said before, Will Muschamp has more division titles in the SEC than Dan Mullen does. And I will say it again, even though you don't understand this point. The last 2 times they played the Gamecocks outplayed their ass. Did we win? No. I'm not saying we won, and there's 2 losses, but it's not like they took a Gamecock team the last 2 years, who I will agree has not been a really good team the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And the Gamecocks had every intention, every way to beat the Gators 2 straight years. They didn't do it. But the fact that the Gators aren't blowing out the Gamecocks, they aren't like just kicking their ass, I'd be concerned if I was a Gator fan that you can't kick the Gamecocks' ass, and the Gamecocks have been pretty bad the last 2 years. That's all I'm going to say about that. And so I think their time is up this year in the Gamecock game. I think they win the East, but I think the Gamecocks are going to take care of them this year. Mark it down. We'll get to that, though, in a little bit.
Let me break that down for a second. The Comrade thinks that Will Muschamp needs 8 fucking years in South Carolina.
I never said
but
that.
You better fucking have your head on right. You better get on Dan Mullen when he's lost 5 games in 3 years. He's lost 5 games in 3 years. But in the Comrade's mind,
and no division titles. And the SEC, according to you, the SEC East is horrible. Wait. The SEC East is horrible, right?
His non-conference schedule has been a joke.
You complain about the SEC East being horrible, non-conference being horrible. He hasn't won the division, but now you want to praise him for 5 losses. Okay, what has he got for that, Bob? But the whole Gamecock thing, our 3-year run there of top 10s, you go, what did it get you? What did it get you? What did it get you?
You want to have your
show me your championship. Show them to me.
I'm out.
Yeah, there you go.
Show them to me.
Do you want to
show them your hardware? Show them your hardware, man. Show me your hardware.
3 seasons, and this idiot thinks that
show me the hardware. Show it to me.
With Florida fans. This is why, you know why we have you on this show?
Show me your hardware. No, you're a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite. You have different little levels of praise you give based on.
Well, they did make it to New Year's Six bowls the past 2 years, so I guess that would be like the equivalent of back in the day, making it to one of the lower level BCS bowl games. Remember, we used to always get that shit when we go 11-2 and win Outback Bowl. You never made it to a BCS bowl game, baby, to beat Ohio State team that doesn't even want to be there. You know, we got that garbage all the time.
Yep.
Exactly.
Fine.
3-6 you went for 3 straight years. You go, well, show me, what did it get you? What did it get you?
Yeah, look, you've been more to think that you are a hypocrite because you want Will Muschamp to have goddamn 30 decades before you go 7 and fucking 5. But you're cool with coach.
I never said 8 years. My comment to you was, how long before Dabo won a national title? And you said 8 years. That was the whole thing. And you spun that into, Conrad thinks that Muschamp needs 8 years before he thinks he's a good coach. No, that's not what I said. I said give him a full recruiting class, which is 4 to 5 years, because the first recruiting class
no,
doesn't really count, okay? I mean, because he had to recruit for a month. I said, so give him that 5-6 year window to tell. But because I said, how long did it take Dabo to win it all, and it was 8 years, you spun that to me saying, you must give Muschamp 8 years. It's amazing. The lies you tell are just astounding. And, of course, all the little plebes in the Facebook world take what you say, and it becomes fact. And, Conrad's at 8 years. When I never even said that. Good Lord.
I have the audio. Do I need to play the audio, sir? Do I need to play the audio?
Yeah, play the whole
because
audio.
I have it.
Because I'll ask you, I'll say it took Dabo 8 years. And by the way,
I have the clip because
And by the way, somebody on this show, I'm not going to name names, was Dabo fired after the 2011 season.
I did.
Okay.
I did. Unlike you, I don't have a problem with being truthful. Okay? This is my thing.
I'm being truthful.
No, you're an absolute liar when it.
Were you wrong?
It was 2000. It was the 2010 season.
Yeah. Okay.
I said I was wrong. Okay, but the difference between you and I is that you know in your heart that Muschamp is a piece of shit.
No, I knew that's not true. That is not true. Now, am I as confident in Muschamp now as I was, say, 3 years ago? No. I can explain that last year about my different spots in the bus. Okay? I'm kind of now getting up towards the front, kind of looking around. But I don't lie about Muschamp. I'm not as confident as I was, okay? But I'm gonna still support him, and I still think he can turn around. He's got himself in a damn hole right now because he's on the hot seat now. And once you're in the hot seat, it makes it harder to recruit. Although we got a guy today, it makes it hard to recruit because you gotta when teams recruit against you, they say, well, he's not gonna be there that long. He's gonna get fired soon. It's hard to recruit that way. Now he's on the hot seat because he's not winning enough. So it's not anyone's fault. That's his fault. At the end of the day, it's his fault. Okay, so I mean, so it makes it tough now to kind of come back from it. So last year was a shitter, man. Last year, what they did, and part of it, I mean, things fell apart, man. You can say Bentley got hurt, and that's part of it. But they didn't play well in games, and they play well. They didn't coach well, and so that's his own fault. So now he's gonna come back.
Over on YouTube, Destroy says that Muschamp was blessed with talent from Urban Meyer back in 2011 and 12.
Exactly.
And that he's a good recruiter, but not a good head coach. Well, that goes with saying because in 2015 and 16, even though the SEC East was down, what's the guy that had some no time with the Sharks? What was his name? The coach that was there after
McElwain.
Anyway,
McElwain.
Yeah, he won back-to-back SEC East championships. Now they went to the Georgia Dome both years. Kind of got their colon clogged by Alabama a little bit both years. But hey, he did that with Muschamp's players. So
that's right.
There you go.
Boom. That's counts 2 more titles for Boom. But Boom's got three division titles. I'm gonna count that right there.
Really should.
Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, I'm not. Listen, Boom has his issues. Okay, there's been times he's pissed me off. Last year, there's some things he said that freaking made me want to slap him. Okay, because I'm supporting him. But to act like he's some kind of shit ass listen, that Florida team he had The defense he built was unreal. And unfortunately,
that's the whole ever fucking point. When you're the head coach, you're responsible for everything, not just the defense.
I'm just saying, though, he won a division title. 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 Did he win a division title? He won a division title, right?
With Urban Meyer's players.
Okay, and Jim McElwain won division. And what did McElwain do with Muschamps players? Because Urban Meyer, why did Urban Meyer leave, by the way? Do you think he really was sick? No, because the program was turning into a shit show. He had a bunch of players on there, criminals, and he got out.
Defending Urban Meyer.
Okay,
Urban Meyer.
So it wasn't like Muschamp walked into a great situation. He had to take over for successful coach. The program was going down. That's when Meyer left. He didn't leave because his heart was having problems. He left because he was running the wall.
You're spinning
Hold on. Muschamp hasn't coached in an SEC championship game. He never won a division title. A legit. He didn't. When?
He won He won with Florida, like the first year he was there with Urban Meyer.
No, he didn't. No, they went like 6-6.
No.
Well, with the first year,
the second year. He went
to the SEC championship game.
The second year he was there in 2012, they went like 11-2. But Georgia went to the SEC championship game that year. Was the year they played Alabama. Remember that old Aaron Murray or whatever his name? He spiked the damn ball for no reason on third down. No. And then Georgia went the year before that. The Muschamp's first year in 2011 was the year that they played LSU and they beat the shit out of them.
Cal might be right. Hold on, let me verify this now.
2012, they went 11-2 overall.
Yes, they lost to Georgia and to Louisville, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at I think they lost in the Sugar Bowl to Louisville. That is a good point. I'm checking the schedule right now. Yep, 2012 Muschamp was the head coach. Their only loss on the season, they lost to Georgia 17-9 and they lost to they lost to Louisville and Georgia. That's it.
Yeah, Georgia went because Georgia got the tiebreaker. Cal's right. They both won 7-1 in the conference, but Georgia lost to Florida. So that's right. So he's got a co-division title.
2013 and 2014 was the years that Missouri backdoored their way in.
Yeah, but Clemson counts if you tie for division title. Clemson counts that. Look at their stadium. So I'm going to count that from us.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, you put that up on the the facade of your dome.
And plus McElwain won 2 with Muschamp's players. So that's like 1. We're giving Muschamp 1 of those. So that's really 2 total. So there we go.
All right. Well, this is just stupid on top of stupid. Thank you for fixing that for me, Kale. Because Muschamp was such a shithead that I thought he played in the SEC championship game, but
he would have beaten Saban though. That's real talk. Saban's lucky he got Georgia. He would have beaten Saban.
Why are you so hard on this?
He would have beaten Saban that year.
Dude, he is the 11th best coach in your conference.
He would have beaten Saban that year. He would have beaten Saban that year.
I would take every coach except for Derek Mason over Will Muschamp.
He would have beaten Saban.
I mean, he is that shitty of a coach. We need to move on to the Florida Gators. The ugly for the Florida Gators is that I have the ugly for the Florida Gators. They were stupid enough to hire Will Muschamp. And they are still getting – I didn't talk when you were talking about your stuff, so shut your hole. They were stupid enough to hire Will Muschamp, and he has fucked that damn team over and is still fucking them over. There was someone that did something – I'm going to mute you if you don't let me finish my segment. There was an article by a guy that covers the program down in Florida and said that it would take 5 to 7 recruiting classes to get over what he did to the offense at Florida because he got pissed off at everybody because he's a little pump bitch. And he went and he hauled himself up and said, I'm just going to recruit defensive players. That's what I'm going to do. We don't need a fucking quarterback. No, all those quarterbacks, they fucking left.
Lies.
We don't need running. We don't need Chris Rainey. We don't need any of those guys.
Lies.
None of those guys. We just need defense. We're going to win every game 12-3. And if somebody fucking scores, I'm going to run these guys until they fucking die. That's the idea of what Will Muschamp is. But that was the ugly for Florida. They are still trying to rebuild from what Muschamp did to them. Losing to Georgia Southern without
explain to me him bringing Will Greer to play there then.
Yeah.
Will left.
Will Greer wanted to play on Muschamp.
Yeah, well,
Will Greer.
Yeah.
Will Greer wanted to come to Carolina to transfer. By the way, real talk. Yeah. You couldn't get the waiver. You did too. Will Greer likes Muschamp. Real talk.
Anyway, have to work around that, and that, my friends, is not good. So we move on to the Florida schedule. I should have done this before we started. Are we going to do non-conference games? Because do you want to do non-conference games? What do you think?
I can't understand him. You're breaking up. You sound like a computer voice that's been like pissed on. Like I think Kale Hall.
Let's not do the non-conference games. It's not anything, but we'll still review the ones that are like rivalry games that could maybe happen. They may save or whatever. Hopefully.
Can I say something real quick about the whole conference stuff? Okay, I see a lot of stuff on Facebook like it's stupid.
Right. Well, I was waiting for the comrade to come back. Kale, we'll let you pick first. I apologize for the internet stuff that's going on this evening. Apparently, I'm working on getting better connections and stuff in my house. But it's just I appreciate you bearing with us as we move along here on the Rob Comrade and Kale show tonight. The first Washington. Eastern. Oh, we're not doing the non-conference. What am I thinking? The first conference game is the Kentucky Wildcats. Yeah, Kentucky Wildcats at home. Comrade, you want to pick first?
I'm taking the Gators pretty large in this one. I know you love Kentucky, but Kentucky's just not going to have it this year. I'm taking the Gators. Win by, I'll say 3 scores. 3-score win.
Kale, what you got?
Yeah, I think the past couple of years, Kentucky beat them, finally ended that long streak in 2018 in Gainesville, and then Florida barely beat them last year. Had to come from behind. I think this one's probably not quite as close. I think Kentucky will slow them down a little bit defensively, but much like the Gamecocks, I have questions as to how they're going to move the ball and what types of Jimmies and Joes that Kentucky has on offense to be able to keep up with the Gators. So I'd say, 2-3 score win for Florida at home over old Kentucky in this one. I agree with Comrade.
I think if this game were at Kentucky, it would be closer because it's at the start of the season. Kentucky has a pretty good defense, and they return the best portion of their offensive line. A.J. Rose is going to be solid for Kentucky. He'll be the first, second, third, fourth, I think it's 5th year in a row that Kentucky's had a 1,000-yard rusher. A.J. Rose will be that guy this year. He'll probably run for like 250 against South Carolina. That's how shitty the Gamecocks are going to be. But
yeah, because he did so much against us last year.
Will he have a guy holding for him on the field? Will he have a guy holding for him?
Jay Bowden as their quarterback. They didn't have Terry Wilson back there that could actually throw the ball.
Because Terry Wilson can't throw the damn ball. Terry Wilson threw more goddamn interceptions than he did touchdowns.
Tell him,
What the
Cal.
hell are you smoking?
Tell him, Cal.
You just said the other week he wasn't good at football. Now you're sitting here down defending him. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Comrade, can you mute him?
Shit, I can't. Go shave her eyebrows because you had to shave them last
Mute
time.
that damn banjo music shit.
I still think Kentucky's better than you two guys think, but then again, you guys were picking Kentucky to lose to you when they stomped your ass 5 years in a row. So anyway,
They didn't stomp. The only ass stomping was what we put on them last year.
I know. There's no ass stompings.
Prostitute. That's what they did to you guys. You guys aren't a damn good program. Stop with that nonsense.
We beat their ass. They were like, no more.
Yeah, right. Whatever.
Just stop. It's a no must.
The next game is at Tennessee with the Volunteers. The date's not going to matter, just the conference portion of it. Tennessee, Cale, which way are you going? You going with the Vols or are you going with Kentucky?
I'm going with Florida. Kentucky's not. Look at last year. Last year, Florida beat this team 34-3 in the Swamp, and that was Trask's first game. This is another situation kind of like Kentucky. I think Tennessee Tennessee got a decent defensive backfield, so I think that they may be able to slow them down a little bit, maybe in the first half. But Florida's just going to wear them down. Got too many weapons offensively, and Tennessee just doesn't have those same weapons to match. They're another team like Kentucky that's got a good offensive line. But then, you look to your left and your right, and, what else do they have out there? This is everybody's sexy little upset pick. They picked Tennessee to win this one at home. So we're back. I just don't see it happening. I think Florida takes care of business against Tennessee again and beats them for like the 13th time out of the past 14 years. Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They have owned them like the past decade and a half, and I expect that to continue here. Tennessee put up a good fight in the first half, but Florida pulls away in the second half and wins by a couple of touchdowns.
Comrade, who you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same thing Cale says. I think Tennessee just doesn't have enough to beat Florida. It'll be a big game for Tennessee. The big measuring stick for Tennessee fans. They won't play Oklahoma now. Like I said, I said they're going to beat Oklahoma last time and be all up, but that's not going to happen now. But I said the Gators win this game. I think it'll be pretty close though. But Tennessee won't. They'll play Florida tough, and Tennessee fans will take a moral victory out of it and think that they have a chance to rebound the rest of the season, but they won't. So I'm going to the Gators here.
I'm taking Florida. I think that the Trask-Pitts connection will be too much for the Vols. And Cale mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and not that I go back and fact check Cale, but he was talking about how Tennessee's not going to have any real playmakers, meaning wide receivers, etc., for Guantanamo Bay or whoever the hell is going to throw the ball. I agree with that. I think Tennessee's going to have issues. I think their running game is going to be good. But as far as the passing game goes, I don't really know what we got coming back yet. So with that, I think that Florida wins probably pretty easily over Tennessee. The next matchup is South Carolina. Cale, tell us why your Gamecocks are going to beat Florida so we can all laugh at you.
Well, what if I tell you they might not? You still laugh at me.
I won't laugh at you, but I'll laugh at the comrade because I know in his mind, the comrade's mind, the Gamecocks are beating everybody but fucking Alabama, the 85 Bears.
We're not playing Alabama. I have us going 84 this year. I was losing 4 games this year. So shut your mouth.
Go ahead.
Shut it.
Go ahead. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. Go ahead,
we often, you oftentimes will see this in a coach's, that make or break year where these players just lay all out for them. We've played them tough the past couple of years. Actually, had chances in 2018. Should have put the game away and won it. Okay, we should have. 2019, yes, last year the referees screwed us a little bit on the play calls, but they screwed Florida a couple of times as well. They were the better team in the end. We just didn't have the firepower to keep up in the the fourth quarter. This one, yeah, I just for some reason I see it. I see history repeating itself again. I see South Carolina playing a good game here. It's just I don't. At this point in the season, we're still kind of early in. I'm just concerned about the passing game at South Carolina. I'm concerned about who Ryan Helinski's going to be able to spread that ball out to. We just don't have a lot of playmakers over there at this point in time. We got Shi Smith, who's a good player. He's a good wide receiver. But last year, the kid only had like 400 yards. But he's been overshadowed by Deebo Samuel and Brian Edwards the whole time he's been at South Carolina. Now it's his turn to step into the limelight, see what he can do. You got Dak Joyner back there. I mean, I don't know. As far as the running back position, I'm optimistic, but I'm concerned. I don't know what we have with Marshawn Lloyd. I mean, he looks talented. He looks good on film. Is he going to be able to do that on Saturday? What he did on Friday nights? I don't know. Kevin Harris, the other young kid who looked great last year against Charleston Southern, and then we never saw him play again. We never saw him run the ball that much. I always saw Rico Dowdle and Feaster all year long. So I'm just concerned that we just don't have the experience, the Jimmys and the Joes, or quite frankly, the depth offensively. I'm not concerned about defensively. Defensively, I think we can keep Florida in check. This is another one where I can see us dropping a lead, maybe a back and forth game for 3 quarters, and then pulling away in the fourth quarter again. So give me the old damn fucking Gators in this one.
Tell us how the Will Muschamp is going to win against Florida, even though you're having a shit team. Go ahead, comrade, and enlighten us.
Bottom line is we should have won the last 2 years. And we're better this year, and I think justice we served this year. I think the breaks that didn't go our way the last 2 years, we're owed some breaks this year. We're going to get some breaks this year. And you'll come on here on Sunday and say, oh, the flukish, you're the fluke win. And you'll get mad because one of our players might grab a piece of grass from the turf and take it home, and you'll be offended by that for 6 months. But bottom line is we are due to beat them. We should have beaten them the last 2 years. We're right there with them. And I think we get some revenge in the old swamp and Muschamp's old home. I think the players know how big of a game this is for him. And I think they're trying to save his job. And then they come out there, we run the ball, we play conservative, play good defense, and maybe get a little pick six. Maybe get a little deflection, a little defective ball, pick six, and you go flukish. Doesn't matter. Put the W on the board. Gamecocks for the Gators. One of the 8 wins of the year is against the Gators.
You're not winning 8 games in this season and next season combined.
Well, I mean, if we play 12, you're right. We play 12 games. So we're not going to games anymore. Yeah, you're right, because we're not playing any non-conference games. So I'll have to look at the. I think I've got us going 5-3 in the conference. So 5-3, one of our 5 wins.
So a couple of things. First of all, with what Cale said about Marshawn Lloyd, Cale is correct. And we don't know exactly. He looks good in practice, but let's be honest, it's against Will Muschamp's team. It's not against any team that's worth a shit. If he played against App State, we might know a little bit more about him and how better of a player he is. Playing against Will Muschamp, you don't really know how good he is. So he's like I think him and Jordan Birch are going to be like Milton Jennings, which was the former Clemson 5-star player that Brad Brownell was able to get, that came in and would have, a showing here or there where he'd get like 17 points and 8 rebounds against fucking Pitt when Pitt won 2 conference games. And everybody's like, oh, he's the Messiah. That's what's going to happen. He's not going to do it this year because he's not going to have any conference games. But I'm calling it right now. Marshawn Lloyd will have 1 game this season where he gets over 100 yards. The rest of the games, he will not do it. It won't happen. Write that down. Are you putting that down, comrade? Because I'm that emphatic about it.
Write down.
Well, and
Now,
it's not, it has
when he
much to do-
when he has 3 games over 100 yards, do you get mad when I'm bringing it up all the time?
No,
Okay,
I'm not
all
gonna
right,
get-
all right. So what? So what's wrong? Okay. You get mad
but
at me
see,
like that?
This is the problem. This is the problem. You're not even looking at the schedule, stupid. That's the problem. But the Milton Jennings of the South Carolina football program in Marshawn Lloyd is going to be an absolute big failure for the Gamecocks, not because of his talent, because he has a shitty head coach and a shitty offensive line. And when Muschamp gets fired, he's going to transfer.
Our old line's good.
He's going to transfer. He may come to Clemson special teams. That may end up what happens to him.
No, we
He may-
won't go to Clemson.
By the way, Comrade
Jennings was a Clemson basketball player.
Yeah.
Yep, Milton Jennings.
That reference, no one will get that reference because your fan base is
I
not
don't
following your
remember
basketball team.
It's been a while back.
Their fan base is
Jennings
not following your basketball team.
he was a private school star like Marshawn Lloyd is.
Did he play for?
Lloyd it's like city players. He never played against. He played against. Let's just be honest. He played against a bunch of white boys that didn't know how to play football. Let's just be completely.
Hey! How about this, jackass? You know where he came from? The Matha High School. That's who? Is that Patrick Ewing? Who played he played basketball for Georgetown. It was pretty damn good, wasn't he? Didn't he come from the Matha?
Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer.
These private school guys not worth a fuck.
Nope. You're not worth a fuck. He's already. He's already on.
Is that why Xavier Thomas stinks? Is that why?
Xavier Thomas went and played at a public school first and then transferred out.
Is that why he stinks in college now? Is he selling?
I'll take Xavier Thomas over any.
Is he selling any? How's his online store doing? How's his online commerce store doing?
I don't know why I got so damn pissed when he didn't commit to us and he committed to Clemson because he fucking sucks.
Yeah, he's not that
hot garbage.
But
you got a sale on his sock store right now. If you go online,
hot dog water.
You can buy his socks or something like that, or his jersey.
Okay, so here's the funny thing. The comrade swears up and down, the last 2 years, we were a much better fucking team than Florida. We were much better.
I didn't say that. I said we should have won the race.
You should have won. You said you should have won, right?
Yeah.
Do teams that should have won have 15 less first downs than the team that won? Do teams that should have won get outgained, 528 to 386? They threw the ball up and down the field on that shitty Will Muschamp defense. Simple as that. They ran for 367 yards.
That's easy. When you have your lineman leave early and have a guy hold someone's jersey in the field, I could probably run for a lot of yards too. How about this? You put me back at running back, and I want the lineman to hold the defensive guys for their jerseys, and I'll gain some yards too.
That is a pussy way to do it. You have a sopping vagina, comrade, when it comes to fucking Muschamp.
That's all.
Was it called? Hold on. Exactly, Kale. It's all ifs, buts, and coconuts. Did it get called
coconuts? No, I'm talking about the how many yards were gained. But remember when you talked about that about 2017 about NC State? NC State got 595 yards offense. Get that shitty fucking Gamecock to you get 200 yards total offense. What did final score say? Who won the motherfucker? God damn. Gamecock by 7 points. Should have won by 14.
Giving you the win, but you should extend the same courtesy to Florida because they whipped your fucking ass. Simple as that. You're not on the same planet as Florida. Okay?
Oh, God damn.
Give me a break. I can't wait to beat them. I can't wait to beat them this year. So you can say
the same planet. I'm sorry.
Give me a break.
No, we're not, because they can't beat Georgia. So
that's true. Good point. And
you're not on the same planet.
And we have a head coach who's got a co-division championship in the SEC.
Okay, whatever. But Florida wins this game comfortably. Kyle Trask probably won't play in the fourth quarter, and I hope that the fans down there in Florida and tell him you're the reason that our offense was screwed for several years.
There won't be any fans in the stands, jackass. There'll be 10,000 fans in the stands.
Warner team. So there's that. South Carolina loses big time to Florida.
Their offense wasn't screwed for years. They made it into the SEC championship games 2 years after Muschamp in 2017.
Right.
They fired McElwain. They were shitty.
Players.
Then in 2018, they got this Messiah, the Dan Mullen, the Messiah, the 21-5 Messiah in there, and so he was there last year. So how was they really screwed?
Muschamp's players.
They wasn't.
Muschamp's players.
They wasn't screwed.
Hey, Kale, I'll get you some Will Muschamp knee pads to match the comrade. It's not a big deal.
I don't want none. That's about like them Gamecock fans bitching about, Steve Spurrier quit recruiting. He just took back 100 years.
All kind of hypocritical comments by Rob Sanders. He argues both sides.
I'm not arguing. I'm consistent with this.
No, you're not consistent with that. No, you're not.
Consistent.
Well, when Muschamp won the co-division title, it was Urban Meyer's players. When McElwain wins 2 division titles, that's good. Okay, you're a hypocrite.
Hypocrite. Stop being a hypocrite.
Your coaches too busy playing golf at Hilton Head while Debo was up here building a program.
I never said that, Kale. Let's make sure we understand that. I have the utmost respect for Steve Spurrier. Utmost respect for Steve Spurrier. I think that if Spurrier didn't come here, the Gamecocks would be a 3-win shithole like consistently. I think you wouldn't have that football center if it wasn't for Steve Spurrier. I mean, he really did.
Lou Holtz first. Lou Holtz come here first was the main thing.
That's right.
Lou Holtz got Spurrier.
That's fair too.
Holtz
but I mean, let's be honest.
Lou Holtz took over for a tire fire coach. Ain't no can to catch up. The biggest douche in the world he took over for, and saved the program. All right, and he is a total D-bag, and he's perfect for Clemson. His son was perfect for Clemson, the whole Scott family. I don't care if they hear me.
The sad part is that your stupid ass doesn't keep up. He's in South Florida now, but we'll move on.
I know. Well, Brad Scott was at Clemson. You know where he went first.
You're on. He's not there anymore, stupid.
I know, but he was perfect for him.
Right. Under Brad Scott and under Jeff Scott, Clemson won 2 national titles. So that once again shows you how fucking dumb you are as far as coaching.
On that real quick, I just one quick thing. The last year that Sparky Woods was at South Carolina, which was 93, I believe.
Yeah.
And you would know this because you were a freshman.
My only year playing.
Did he not have a winning record? Did he go like 5-6? It was either 6-5 or 5-6.
His last year was 4-7, I think. His last year.
Okay. My thing about him, his records there they weren't abysmal. I mean, he had a couple of winning seasons. He had a couple of. And I remember the 92 season, the first year in the SEC, after he brought Steve Tannehill in as starting quarterback, we had started out like 0-5, and then the players had this big meltdown, and then we won like 4 of our last 5 games, including kicking Clemson's ass in Death Valley.
Kicked their ass.
But I really don't know if they really gave him enough time up there. He was only there for 4 years.
We went 5-6. Hold on. No, I was right. 4-7, 93. 4-7. That was you. We beat Georgia to start things out. And I understand this too. I wasn't around back then, but he took over, obviously, for Joe Morrison. He took over amid the steroid scandal.
He was hired in February of '89, so he was a quick fix hire, and they had to hire a head coach because your coach just died in the shower,
and he had to clean the program up because of all that stuff. Because I wasn't down here then, Cal. Maybe you can attest to this too. But I've been told that if Joe Morrison didn't die, that they might have fired him. King Dixon just died here recently, and he was the AD at the time. And there was some kind of speculation that if more came out, or if it came out that Joe Morrison knew more about the steroid scandal, that King Dixon said he had to fire him. And now with Joe Morrison dying, I don't think they kind of went into detail about how much Joe Morrison knew at that point. It was a moot point. But there was some kind of talk that even though Morrison was a beloved coach and had success, that if the whole steroid scandal stuff, how much he knew, how much he didn't know, all that stuff. So Sparky Woods kind of came into that. So in '93, we started off with a win at Georgia, and then lost a tough game at Arkansas. I remember that watching. I didn't travel for that game. 18-17 at Arkansas. My roommate, Corey Bridges, early in the game had a little button hook pass he took and put his left foot in the ground and took off, and they couldn't catch him. Corey Bridges, man, that's a cool kid. He's a man now. A successful guy. He trains NFL players now. Still in great shape. But he was fast. He's fast now. We beat Louisiana Tech. Lost to Kentucky on a Thursday night. Remember that? At home. Lost to Bama by – number 2 in the country, Bama by 11 points. We had them beat, too. Beat East Carolina. Lost Mississippi State. Beat Vanderbilt. And we finished off losing to Tennessee, Florida, and Clemson. Had a 13-0 lead on Clemson. And lost 16-13, I think it was.
Yeah, I was at that game. That was bad.
I was dressed up for that game. One of those 2 games I had to dress up for. And the next day, I walked home to my dorm from classes, and the Roost was swarmed with like people and TV trucks, and like what the hell is going on? And Blake Williamson, Eric McDowell goes, Sparky just got fired, and we go into a room, and Mike McGee. I mean, this kind of always pissed me off. Whatever. But McGee, after it's been broken, knows, he then calls a meeting with the players to tell us that he fired Sparky. Like, thanks. Thanks for letting us know first. Okay? Thanks for kind of – and I'll never forget, Blake Williamson, who was Tanny Hill's backup quarterback. Blake's from Anderson, South Carolina. Okay?
Yep.
Had this real country accent, which back then – I probably noticed it more because I was just from New York at that point, so everything seemed like now. Blake probably talked to me, I wouldn't even notice it. But Blake was a great practice quarterback. Like if you watched a practice, he always outplayed Tannehill. Always in the weight room, okay? Great in the film room. The only difference was that when you put Blake in the game, he just didn't, rise to the occasion. You put Tannehill in the game, and he just did. And I never forget, I was standing by Blake Williamson. The reporter asked him about what he thought about Sparky Woods getting fired. And he said something along the lines, well, when you blow a 13-0 lead at Clemson and I'm still sitting in the sidelines, you probably got to make a change. And it was so unlike Blake. Like, Blake never would say that. Like, it was so unlike Blake. I remember hearing they go, oh, shit, when Tannehill sees this. And sure enough, the next day, in the papers, that quote, I can see Tannehill now in the quarterback room. What the hell is this shit, Blake? What the hell is this shit? Before the internet now, he didn't bring a phone in. It was a newspaper. What the hell is this shit right here, Blake? What's that shit? Well, Whack, I just told him what I thought. And I just was hilarious.
Yeah, that was bad. That was terrible. That fucking Clemson team that had like that fucking Dexter McLeon or whatever his name was, quarterback, fucking hot fucking garbage. And they'd go out and fucking shit the bed. I remember that like it was yesterday. That was awful.
But I will say this.
Up next one.
When I knew Tennessee, I knew when Sparky was done. We lost at Tennessee 55-3. It snowed that game. Okay, it snowed that game. And Tennessee was a good team, but we didn't show up. Like we didn't. You could tell that we just didn't want to be there. And I remember dating a girl at the time, and we had a Sunday of practice. Normally, Sunday's practice are you run a few laps, you watch some film, you get out. And I was like, I told this girl I was dating, listen, Sunday I'll probably be there late because we just got destroyed. I'm probably thinking it'll be a long practice. And Sparky Woods comes in to the team meeting and says, guys, did the best you can. It was a tough day yesterday. I'm giving you the night off. Now, I was happy. I got to go see my girl. But I was like, dang, that's just kind of – it's not that we did not play well. We did not want to be there. And he just kind of said, oh, yeah. And I knew then that, man, you could tell he was losing the locker room a little bit at that point.
And that was the year before Peyton Manning, right?
Yeah, that was before Peyton. That was Heath Schuler.
Yeah, and we had beaten them the year before that. We upset
The
them.
Halloween game. Yep, the
And
famous
so they
Halloween
were,
game.
Yeah, so they were probably pretty fucking up for that one.
Yeah, but we did not. You could the second half. Now, granted, we're getting blown up, but the second half we did not want to be there. And I thought, and just watching, I go, man, we are going to be screwed on Sunday at practice. I mean, because we had to run the stadium, had to run not suicides, but you run across the field, sideline to sideline, and you ran a lot on the Sunday based on how you did on Saturday. And so when I'm watching that game, 55-3, I'm like, God damn, I'll be running all damn day tomorrow, you know?
Lord.
And no, we got in there, didn't even get dressed. He pulled us in a meeting. He goes, before you guys get dressed, hold up. You know, I'm proud of you guys. I'm real proud of you. I love you guys. I'm going to give you the night off. I was like, damn. So, yeah. All right, go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
Up next on the schedule is LSU. Again, will be played in the Swamp. Caleb, who are you picking? You going with the Gators?
Well, they have a few SEC games under their belt by this time. I think they might be. Could be possibly will be a little bit beat up. And I've said it all along that I think LSU is going to be a lot better this year, and people give them credit for. Whoever the quarterback is that they have, if he gets the ball airborne anywhere, I think that you'll agree that Jamar Chase can get the thing and take it to the house.
You certainly
They're returning some running backs, talent there as well. Defensively, they're going to be really good, especially in the defensive backfield. And I got this one pegged as a loss. I think Florida loses this game to LSU. I think they're going to be really good still. So give me the Bayou Bengals to win in the Swamp.
I agree with Cal. I believe the
Comrade, who you got?
I believe I'm going with Cal here. I think the whole LSU demise thing has been overdone. I think there are a lot of people to give them credit for this year. I think they beat Florida pretty good. By the way, Broccoli, since Comrade had a girlfriend, Broccoli, I had more girlfriends in 1993 than you've had your whole life. Just that's what I'm throwing out there. So from the calendar year 93, just add those up and then and I've got more than you in your life. Just gonna throw it out there. That's my pick.
And that number 76 jersey was the
Was the
catalyst of a lot. Was the catalyst of a lot of cream panties.
It was. Oh yeah. Woo.
I'm picking up Florida to drop this game to LSU. Basically, I am concerned about Jamar Chase and Miles Brennan a little bit. I think LSU takes a step back, but I think they get the win in the Swamp. So all of them losing in the Swamp to Florida. Next, we will have at Ole Miss. Kale, tell us who you think's going to win between the Gators and Ole Miss.
This is another one that people have. This one is another sexy upset pick of Ole Miss taking the win over Florida. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. If you think that Ole Miss is beating Florida, I mean, you just don't watch a lot of football. I mean, they don't. Their defense. The defense is get down. Sure. The defense at Ole Miss is horrible, and it has been for years. And this year, the addition of co-defensive coordinators, one I don't know the name of, and the other one happens to be fucking DJ Durkin, who's just a piece of shit, and doesn't need to be anywhere around the college football team. So just for that reason right there, I hope they kick their ass. But I can see John Reese Plumlee maybe running around on them a little bit. They still have some running back talent down there at Ole Miss, but I don't think that I think Florida gets the win here. They're coming off the LSU game. I think they're going to be a little bit fired up after that first loss of the season. And I think Florida gets the win here pretty easily on the road.
All right, who you got?
I think Florida gets down early in this game. I think they're a little hungover after LSU spanks them around a little bit. And they make a little second half comeback and win by a field goal. Escape the Grove. What do they call it? The Grove down there? I've never been there. That's my bucket list
Yeah.
to go to the Grove for a game. I have to wait till my kids get a little bit older.
Grove.
But that's my bucket list. Go down there and tailgate the Grove. After we get rid of the whole COVID, things are normal. I can shake hands with people, put my arm around people, have a beer with people, and enjoy the Grove and a Gamecock win over Ole Miss sometime in the future.
You have to wait
All
like
right,
12
so
more years, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much going to happen
Which-
that way.
What was it, like 2 years ago we beat them there?
Mm-hmm. That was a crazy-ass game.
Yep. I think that I agree with what Kale said. I don't think that this is the sexy pick. It is a sexy pick, but their defense is fucking terrible. So give me the Gators to get the win. Up next, they play in Jacksonville against the Georgia Bulldogs. If they were playing the way that they were supposed to play the schedule, then they have a bye week beforehand. I don't know if that's how it's going to work out or not. But 3:30 game on CBS, the Georgia Bulldogs. Who you got? Georgia Gators.
Now, previously, when we talked about Georgia, I had picked Florida in this one. I did a Florida preview over on the Carolina Jackpot channel a couple of nights ago. I don't know why. I got Florida. I got Georgia winning this one. I think they pull it out again. It's like 24-20, something like that. By this point in time in the season, Jamie Newman everybody should know what the system is. They should be, have gotten over the fact that he didn't get a spring practice with the team. I think that their running back stable and their offensive line there is really good. I think the defensive backs at Georgia are really good as well. That they'll be enough to neutralize that Florida passing game and force them to go to Pitts pretty much exclusively because they're going to shut down these other wide receivers. But I just think Georgia has just a little bit too much. Give me the Bulldogs to win this game by like 4 points. And I'm not taking anything away from Florida. I could be wrong on that one. I just have a feeling. That they have their number lately.
All right, Kale, Comrade, who you got?
I think Georgia fans are in for a rude awakening this year. They're going to miss Jake Fromm. I know they don't think Jake Fromm was that good, and they think Jimmy Newman's the next great quarterback. Newman is not as good as Jake Fromm. I'll tell you right now. And I think that by this point in the season, that's become crystal clear. Are you clear? I said crystal. Are you clear? Crystal. Pretty good man, by the way. I watched you last night. Anyway, so I think I'm taking the Florida Gators here. I think Newman struggles. I think the Gators play flawless football, don't turn it over, run the ball. I think Georgia makes some mistakes offensively, turns over a little bit, and the Gators win this game by 10 points. I'm going double digits. Gators by 10. And Georgia fans will be crying about, we miss Jake Fromm. Why did Justin Fields leave us? I miss Fields. I miss why did we use racial taunts to our quarterbacks? He could still be here. So I'll be happy.
Yeah, give me the Gators to win because I think Georgia's a fraud. I mentioned that the last time we did fraudulent Georgia team.
You're
all
burning
those
Madoff. You're the Bernie Madoff of the SC.
So there you go. Yep. Up next, we only have 2 games left. The Vanderbilt Commodores. Woo-wee at Vanderbilt. Wow. This game's going to be a shitter. Kale, who you got?
Well, last year they beat them 56-0. So I don't know I don't know if it'll be that bad this year. They're playing in Nashville, so it might only be 49-0. But and that was with, honestly though, that was with Vanderbilt, who actually had a quarterback and a couple skill position players. This year, they don't even have that. I mean, they're basically returning nobody on the offensive side of the ball. I feel bad for old Derek Mason. Yeah, this one's going to be ugly. So give me Florida to win in
Yeah.
route.
Yeah. Okay, can I just say something real quick about Vanderbilt? I think Vanderbilt needs to kind of.
Sure.
I think. Yeah, I think Vandy needs to kind of look in the mirror a little bit here. Do you know that they have gotten rid of now their public relations athletic department? They're just going to have the school handle everything. Like I mean, listen, nothing wrong with what they're like. They're a academic school first, okay? Sports is not a big deal to them. I just don't understand. Like they're in the SEC and they just don't give a crap. But that being said, I could see Florida having a little letdown this game. They just beat Georgia. They're going to go on the road playing a noon game in front of nobody, like you always play in front of nobody there. I could see Florida starting out looking like crap and the game being tied at 10 at the half and thinking the upset special, and they kind of find a way to pull it out, by 14 or so late. But Vanderbilt that's a weird situation there. It's strange.
This game's a shitter.
That was a couple of years ago. That was a couple of years ago when they played at Vanderbilt, and they were like tied at the half, and like Dan Mullen and Derek Mason almost got in a fight. You remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
Derek Mason would have jacked him up.
Mason don't keep too much with Derek Mason. I see him grab Dabo by the throat.
He would have fucked his world up.
He would pound Dabo's ass. Imagine that. Dabo telling him to leave the.
Dabo would probably just turn around and run.
Yeah, I remember Dabo running this stuff. Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys. I got to go teach Sunday school.
Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
So I'm taking Florida to win their final game in the conference schedule is with Mizzou Tigers. Final game on the schedule. That game will be in the Swamp. Another shitter game. Kale, who you got?
Why does everybody have such a low opinion of them all of a sudden? I don't get it.
I don't know. I think they beat South Carolina, Kale.
Huh?
I think they can beat South Carolina.
No, they won't.
I think they can beat anybody on the schedule. I mean, I don't know why everybody has such a low opinion of them. I feel like they upgraded at head coach. I mean, that fucking Odom guy didn't know what he was doing. He sucked. So, I mean, I think this new guy's they'll have a good offensive game plan. I mean, I think they score on Florida, and they've got some pieces defensively. I mean, it could be a decent game. They've played traditionally in the past. They have played Florida well. They've beaten them more times than they haven't. Now, granted, those Florida teams weren't as good. They weren't as strong as last year's team. And yet last year's Florida team kind of beat them down a little bit. The Missouri team last year was not good, especially in the second half of the season. So I think this game may be too close for comfort, but I think that Florida will win it. But I think that the Robinson kid at quarterback could be a sleeper as far as the transfers go. I think Roundtree will have a good year for Missouri. They'll be a force to be reckoned with. They'll win a few conference games. So look out.
Yeah, I mean, they should beat South Carolina. I don't disagree with you on that. They could put the Gamecocks at 1-7 on the year. Comrade, who you got? Missouri or Florida?
I think it's a close game. I think it comes down to the fourth quarter. I'm going to take the Gators by a field goal, a little 24-21. Kind of escape a little bit, and that clinches the SC East, going 6-2 with their only losses to LSU and the Gamecocks. Two of the powers in their schedule this year. But they get the tiebreaker over Georgia, and they'll go to Atlanta if they have Atlanta this year. So 6-2. Congratulations, Dan Mullen, getting his first division title. He's 3 behind Boone now. 3.
I've got them winning winning this game and finishing 7-1. Did we do? I don't know if we did this or not, but best case scenario, do you have them going 8-0? Either of you at best case scenario? Do you think they can get that? I mean, comrade, you don't really get to talk here because you think they're going to lose in South Carolina. So you really don't know.
Well, wait, did Georgia lose to us last year? Do you think that would happen? Definitely, that can't happen. Okay.
Lost to App State, so there's that.
Okay.
Way to pick the low-hanging fruit, Rob.
And you lost to Cubs, lost to Syracuse 4.
You lost to
you lost to Pitt before.
You lost by several scores to Mizzou. So that's not
okay.
I mean, we had what?
And
8 losses.
West Virginia scored so many points on you. What? So what does that mean?
Yeah,
that's past years. So I mean,
we're HD anymore. Anyway, you think that they could go 8-0, Kale?
If all the stars come into alignment, yeah. Yeah, they have the talent. They have the talent. They got the quarterback. Tight end play is crucial. That's what that dude's just a man among boys. He's really, really good. I think they need to develop a little more at the running back position, though. I think they're going to miss the kid that was there last year, P. Ryan. He caught a lot of passes out of the backfield. We'll see. I mean, people forget that he was really good catching the ball. He didn't really rush for a whole ton of yards. I think like 600 and something on the year. So I'll have to see how this kid does. This Pierce, who was the backup last year, did pretty well against the Gamecocks and ran like a 75-yard touchdown, which is wide receiver Tyree Cleveland was holding for about 25 of that. But still, it's still a touchdown. It still counts as touchdowns. We'll see. They develop at the running back position. I think they could run the table. It's not a murderer's row slate. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry for them.
Well, I think make a case that they'd be favored.
Got an easy crossover game with the West too. Sorry if there's any old Piss fans listening to the podcast. I doubt there are. There's probably only like 12 of you.
I mean, the Georgia LSU games are the only games that they may not be favored in, and I think they probably will be. And if they're not favored, there might be 2-3 point underdogs at the most in those games. So it isn't like out of the realm they can go 8-0 for sure.
Worst case scenario, gentlemen. I think worst case. I think the worst that they could finish is 5-3.
Yeah, 5-3. LSU, Georgia, Carolina.
They're not losing to South Carolina, but 5-3, Kale. I think that's the worst they could finish. No, you?
Hell, they could go 4. They could go 3-5. I mean, it's not unheard of. Florida has been known from out of nowhere. I mean, they did it with Muschamp the year after they went 11-2. They went fucking 4-8. They did it with McElwain the year after they went to the SEC championship game. They went fucking 4-7. It's been known to happen.
The great coach like Muschamp can go 4-8. Yeah,
they could win 3 down games.
All right.
I don't see it happening, but it could.
There's that. There's our preview for the Florida Gators. We're going to take about 5 minutes here and open up the phone line if you want to call 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. You can see the number there on the bottom if you would like to call in and talk about the Florida Gators. If you want to laugh at the comrade for thinking the Gamecocks are going to win 8 games, feel free to call in.
Now, because we're not going to play 12 games. So we're going to go 5-3 in the conference. So Marco down. 5.
You're not going 5.
5.
You might go 1-7. What? That's a question for the chat room. What's more likely to happen for South Carolina? Are they more likely to go 5-3 in conference play or 1-7? There you go with that. I mean, it's 1-7 is not really that fucking far-fetched in my opinion. But there's that. We're gonna have our South Carolina preview as we get closer here. By the way, before we get out of here, I want to mention we have our college football pick'em, which we're going to do. As long as they play football, we're going to do it, right, comrade?
Yeah, I'm not sure we're playing football. I don't feel real good. But, yeah, we're going to do it. If they have football, we're going to do it, for God's sake.
Jerome Pruitt wants the phone number. It's on the bottom of the screen there, buddy.
Call in, Jerome Pruitt. Call in.
803-470-2905, 803-470-2905 if you would like to join us on the program. We'll wait another minute or two here, but I think it's not that far-fetched to think that South Carolina could go 1-7 over 5-3.
Break. Stop it.
Are you
shit.
really?
Stop
you think
with
that
your
you
shit. 1-7. God, stop.
shit, you could go
Just stop.
1-7.
Stop. Stop.
You don't have any talent, Mike.
Stop.
You know that.
Stop.
I think you'll finish. We need to do. I want to do this before the season, and Kale, I want to get you in on this too. I want to do where we pick the where we think the Gamecocks are going to finish as far as total offense and total defense when in the SEC. They'll finish. I think they'll finish probably 11th in total offense.
I say we'll be a top 5 offensive team of all teams that have a fullback in their field. How about that?
You don't have any.
Of all teams that use the fullback for more than 35% of their plays, we'll have a top 5 offense.
That's not. I'm talking about total offense in the conference. But
That's
yeah, there's that.
We'll be the number 1 offense in the conference that uses the fullback.
Your team is garbage. Sorry. Oh, there's our phone call. Let's see.
Calling us up. 470-2905.
Hello, welcome to the program.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen. Texas A&M fan.
What's up?
What's up, buddy?
A&M? How you doing?
Hey, brother, how y'all doing tonight?
Good, man.
Doing
What you got
great.
for us?
Good.
Hey, listen, I'd like to congratulate Cal on his big scratch-off win. I had a $500 winner myself, but it's been a lot of years ago.
Awesome.
Yeah, and by the way, we didn't mention that. If you're watching this on Facebook or listening to this on the podcast, you should subscribe to the Carolina Jackpot channel because I'm going to be completely honest. Other than our show, I have no clue what in the hell Kale's going to put up there. Kale's put up there stuff where he's eating hamburgers at Wendy's to winning $500 from the South Carolina Education Lottery. Way to bank, Kale.
Hey, listen,
Uh-oh, he just dropped off. Anyway, yeah, Kale, you went to the house with that, man. That's awesome.
I've varied interests.
Kale, do you take the money and put it in a mayonnaise jar and bury it in the backyard?
I wouldn't tell you that. You come dig my fucking backyard up.
Digging.
All right, they're digging with a spoon, looking for the mayonnaise jar. Wow. Anyway, yeah, way to go on that, Kale. Good job, brother. Getting the is that your biggest winner? You get $1,000 winner one time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've hit $1,000 several times, so no. But I like the $500 winner because it's like if you win $1,000, they're going to take $100 from you in taxes, and then plus you got to drive to go claim it. So this is almost as good.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you should subscribe to the Carolina Jackpot channel. God only knows what Kale's going to put up there. He's going on vacation soon. Might be some interesting stuff there. Let's head back out to the phones and see who this is. Well, welcome into the Rob Conrad and Kale Show. What's up?
what's going on?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. This is Jerome Pruitt over here.
What's up, JP?
What's up, man? Hey, man, I just called to talk about going 8-4, man. Boy, that's pretty optimistic.
Well, we can't go 8-4 now. We're not going to play 12 games. So 5-3 is my conference pick for the Gamecocks.
Man, I tell you what, I think that would be like winning the national championship.
No, that's not true. I mean, I would not know what that's like, but no, it would be huge though. It would save Will Muschamp's job for a couple of years for sure, and get people back on, help recruiting as well because find a little security and so forth. So I think it can be done. Got to play a lot better than we did last year. Got to have some things go our way, and play fundamentally sound football. And we can do it. No doubt in my mind. No doubt.
So what do you think about Ryan Hilinski? You think he's going to make a big hop?
I think he will. 'Cause I think last year he was hurt most of the year. And so I think, I love the kid in terms of his heart. I mean, he was playing hurt. I mean, from that Bama game. You look at the Bama game before he got hurt, and he was making some throws. And then he kind of got hurt in that game. He was never quite the same. And I think Bobo is going to be good for him with his footwork. So I think we'll be able to tell what he is this year. I think last year we weren't really sure because, one, he's a true freshman. He wasn't expected to play last year, and Bentley got hurt. He gets thrown in there. He's playing injured. He just, he moved across the country. I mean, a lot of things, true freshman. So I think this year will be a good year to judge him. We have a football season to what he is and what he can be. So, the jury's still on him, but we'll see. I think this year we'll be able to find it for sure.
Man, I sure hope so, because they put DeCarrion Joyner there in the ditch for winning the Georgia game. Didn't quite understand that. My other question is, do you think they'll keep the Clemson-Carolina rivalry, being that it's one of the oldest running rivalry games in the country?
I say no.
Yeah.
I say no simply because with what the ACC is doing by basically just getting bent over by Notre Dame, please play conference with us. Oh, we'll add you as the 15th, member or whatever. And it's just like, I think the wild card in that is that the John Swofford on his way out as ACC commissioner, he is going to basically, he doesn't care, in my opinion. He wants to get the football season on, and he wants that Notre Dame recognition for him. And he wants his last beacon, in my opinion, to be the guy that got Notre Dame football in to the ACC, and
I think
that expense.
You're joining football, or we're kicking you out in basketball, baseball, and everything.
But they won't do that. They need Notre Dame too much. Notre Dame knows that. So, in terms of the one thing I wanted to bring up earlier, and we kind of got cut off a little bit. A lot of people are asking, like, how come they're going to the conference games? It makes no sense. You've got these, Syracuse and traveling. They're not doing it for travel reasons, okay? They're doing it for a few reasons. Number one, if you play only conference games, you control the schedule. And that's important because we don't know what's going to happen with this virus and how many teams have guys who have, too many cases. You have to cancel a game. And if you have only conference games, one, you can condense the season and you can move around matchups. You can say, okay, this team's got a bye now because they've got whatever it is. The other thing is that they're trying to get as much revenue as possible. And whenever a game was played, whenever an ACC team plays an SEC team, that game goes to one of the TV packages, either the SEC package or the ACC package. Now, they decide that early on. And so what you're doing if you play only conference games is all the money, all the revenue goes into your TV package to live up to the contracts you signed with these networks. That's the other thing. The third thing is if you get rid of non-conference games, you get rid of the games where you have to pay teams to come see you, to come play you. And most teams right now are struggling money-wise. Okay? The fourth thing is that you can come up with your own protocol for testing and all that stuff because you're in the same conference. So they're trying to make it a little bit more condensed for the season and make everyone on the same page. That's what they're doing it for. It's not for travel reasons. That's part of it, but not really because some conferences have teams that are far away from each other. But they're trying to make it where they can control things as best they can. Personally, I think this is the first step to them canceling the season. Okay? This is like the first step. But, I don't think they're going to play a full 8 games this year. They might get in 4 games. They might get in 6 games. They might get in just division games. I think that'll be the next step is they're going to say, we're only playing division games this year. Okay? And then, so it's not going to be a normal year. So I don't think Clemson and Carolina are going to play unless things drastically change in these cases and all that stuff.
Hey, Jerome, thanks for calling the show, man. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Good to talk to you guys.
All right, man. There you go with that. All right, well, that is a great way to end the show. I didn't want to be depressing, but I don't think that rivalry game is going to happen this year. Several of them are going to happen this year. By the way, on my regular Fox Sports Radio show tomorrow, I have on a gentleman that's a Notre Dame insider, and he talks to me about the ins and out of the Notre Dame schedule and how Notre Dame is basically he thinks that they're going to be a member of the ACC just for this season, and they will have a chance to make the ACC championship game. So interesting conversation with the Notre Dame insider I'm going to have on the show tomorrow. So, all right, well, gentlemen, who are we going to preview on Wednesday? Got an ACC team on Wednesday since we did SEC today. Kale, it's your pick. Who you got? Kale's eating some Captain Crunch.
No, some muffin. Damn. We're already done the only interesting ones, right? We done three.
We've done
UNC,
UNC, Louisville.
And
I don't know. I think that's it.
and Clemson.
We haven't done Clemson yet. We do Clemson and South Carolina at the end. But
Fuck. Fuck.
how about Florida State?
How about not?
How about Syracuse?
Fucking, let's do Virginia Tech.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you don't want to do an ACC team, do you have an
Okay, let's
SEC
do
team?
Florida State. Fuck it.
We can do LSU. You want to do LSU?
No, let's do Florida State.
All right. Florida State is a Wednesday. And we'll get back to, we may do LSU next Sunday. All right. So, gentlemen, appreciate you joining me for the show. And with that, this show is